I really don't do content about Filipinas, how to meet a Filipina, what's the best Filipina, whatever, right? It's not really my thing. Not really something I really started my channel to get into. But, so when I first really began meeting Filipinas, one thing I noticed is that a lot of them were entrepreneurs. A lot of them like had their own businesses. They had their own, stores. A lot of them selling stuff online. I met one who had I think she sold a cell phone store in a mall, right? And when I met my wife, that's one thing I noticed about her. She had a store. She sold stuff online. She used to order like bundles of clothes and sell them. And then I'd see how she would like post them on Facebook and people would come buy them. You know what I mean? How she used to pose them, have somebody pose. And the different things she did. So that's one of the things I really loved about her. That had me interested in her because I'm into business, investing, entrepreneurship, things like that. So really what made me think about this, because recently I was watching a guy's YouTube channel and he was in India. And it was funny because he was really selling India and people were in the comments like, dude, we're not going to India. They weren't feeling it. But one thing that stood out to me is that he was saying how poor it was, like poverty. And he was saying people in America think they know poverty, but this is super poverty, right? And I remember I left a comment. I was like, dude, you're tripping. You're talking about super poverty, like, places like India and like, here in the Philippines, like they're poor people, but the people have homes. People have houses. Yeah, they're poor, but they still have houses. You have people in America sleeping on the streets, right? And so I'm like, man, you've been to Los Angeles. Like, you see all the people sleeping on the streets in LA. So I'm like, you may speak about people being poor, but at least people still have homes, right? People still have a place to lay their head. They're not sleeping on the sidewalk, right? And so obviously God didn't agree or whatever, but that just led me to realize that home ownership in America is slipping farther and farther away. There's so many people who are not going to be able to afford a home, right? Not unless they are able to, start a business or something of that nature, right? That's the only way they're really going to be able to afford a home. And I'm not saying just to get rich. I'm saying just to afford a home. It's going to take something like that because that's to the point where it's getting like, look at Los Angeles. If a home in a neighborhood is $700,000 and you have to put 20% down, you have to have $140,000. Now, let's say you can get the $140,000. You have to be able to afford those monthly payments, which the average person is not going to be able to afford the monthly payments. Monthly payments might be $3,000-$4,000 a month. People can't afford it, right? People. And this is something that's recognized. That's why Trump even spoke a few weeks ago or whatever, saying he was going to stop corporations and hedge funds, whatever, from buying properties, buying up single-family homes. Which, we'll yet to see if he's going to honor that. That could have been just like a market disruptor for someone just to come in and short the stock and make a lot of money, because he has done that before. I don't know if how he stands, but for people to even own a home in America, they're either, a lot of people are not going to be high-paying individuals or have technical skills. So a lot of people are going to have to start their own business. Now, when you do start a business, you come in with no skills, right? You come in, you have to learn everything. You have to learn sales. You have to learn accounting. You have to learn marketing. You have to learn all of these things, right? And you have to catch up. You're it's like a job where you're basically learning on the go. And so if you look at a lot of immigrant stores in America, look at Indians, Filipinos, Mexicans, whatever, you'll see a lot of husband and wife teams working. And a lot of these people did these things in their country just to have a normal living, just to be able to support their family, just to be able to put food on the table. But those same skills they learn from doing that, if they are transferred to America, the people will get rich. It's a big difference. And so that's why I say, look at these women. They're in these stores 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. That takes discipline. They already know accounting. They know how to, they have to have discipline not to spend their money, and when times get tough or whatever, they know they've been through all the stuff that you're going to have to learn. Imagine these women being in your life and you having a woman like that in your life. You're like, hey, I want to do this or do that. How many women in America have the discipline and the knowledge to even do that. How many of them want to do that? Most people want to work a 9 to 5. They may work a job, they're happy with $20 an hour, $21 an hour, but it's still not going to get you a home. One thing I have noticed about these Filipinas, one thing I can say is that I've seen a few times where women, they've gotten pregnant and the man is not around. Everyone speaks about, oh, why are so many single mothers, blah, 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 right? But no one tells how a lot of these single mothers, they get in that position and they just buckle down and start hustling. They just make it happen. I mean, even now, like, my son was just born Friday, January 16th. So all of the stuff we got for him, his onesies, his frog suits, his socks, his mittens, his baby crib, everything we've gotten for him. My wife has made videos and she's put them on TikTok, she's put them on Shopee, and she's getting commissions on those sales. When those people click on that link and buy, she's been starting getting commissions. And that's just one of many things that they do, you know what I mean, that you have to respect, that I really love seeing them do. So, yeah, they're very resourceful. They really make things happen. Like, yeah, they are a lot of single mothers, but they buckle down. They're not, there's no welfare programs or assistance or nagging a baby daddy or calling his family. A lot of them buckle down and make money. Trust me, a lot of them do. And that's one thing I really love and respect about these women here. A lot of these Filipinas, and they meet men, they may go to America and, they get married and they may go live there. Sometimes these women meet wealthy or rich men. I've seen it. Like, my wife has shown me people online just from her area who you can tell the guys look they look like they live a wealthy life. But a lot of them, right, the average person, may just go live with someone and then they may end up working at Walmart or something like that. So if you look at these women who I've met, who are here, who work at stores, who have their own businesses, they live a fairly nice life. They're not rich, but, they have high-speed internet, which is a luxury here. They're able to, always pay for things, always have food, whatever. They can afford things that a lot of people may struggle for. They can afford to have AC, which is a big thing here for people to have AC all the time, right? So, like I said, and that comes from them, the way they've been able to really take their life into their own hands. To really be able to, provide for themselves and make something happen. Now, if they go to America and they basically just leave all of that behind, they'll probably just end up working at Walmart or something. It's not the same quality of life. Because now you're just doing it just to get by. It's not the same thing, and it's like basically their talents are wasted. So, how awesome would it be, like, if men started, meeting Filipinas for the goal of really building something together? I mean, when you look at America and you see immigrant businesses, how many businesses have you seen with a husband and wife working together? And then think about women in America. I'm not speaking down on people. There are a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of things happening. But how many of the women you meet at your church, your school, the mall, wherever you meet them, you think that are going to be willing to work like that to, like, build something? Think about it. These women are in these sari-sari stores. They're in the store like 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, right? That's a lot of dedication. That's a lot of discipline, handling money, dealing with inventory, dealing with stock, rebuying things. So to me, honestly, I feel like these women are gold. They are an asset to the Philippines, or asset to their neighborhoods, their communities, their family. And then people who've been here, people who deal with Filipinos, I mean, I'm pretty sure people have seen how much these women, the families depend on these women. These women really do make things happen. They really help out in times of need and different things like that. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents, my little input. I think it's more so than just like meet this Filipina or don't date her or watch out for her family. I think if you really take your time, there are a lot of women here who basically put their 10,000 hours in business and, could actually get with you and make something happen that you could actually build something with, synergy. The sum is better than its parts, it's greater than its parts, right? But hey, You know, everybody thinks differently. Some people may be thinking along the lines of something physical and may not see things the same way. But hey, who am I to say? That's just my opinion.